era Minister, Cesar Virata, former Prime Minister of the Philippines, and also the College of Administration of University of the Philippines is named in his honor. He doesn't look like 89 years old. I'm amazed he looks healthier than most of us here. Welcome, Prime Minister Cesar Virata. And beside Dr. Lily Sun is Mr. Charles Wong here. He's the great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen. He's a real estate businessman based in Hawaii. And last but not the least, the youngest person, Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista. She is the great-granddaughter of the hero Mariano Ponce. And also on the left side, Mr. Chai Hui, Deputy Secretary General of the Sun Yat Sen Foundation for Peace and Education. Welcome. We'd like to invite our guests to say a few words. For everybody's background information, in 1898, based on my research, President Emilio Aguinaldo, the revolutionary leader of the Philippines, sent the great-grandfather of Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista to go to Japan to meet Dr. Sun Yat Sen and to ask for support for the Philippine Revolution. And luckily for the Philippines, the most famous revolutionary hero of China gave support, personally supported the Philippine Revolution, and became a personal friend of Mariano Ponce. We'd like to invite Dr. Sun to say a few opening remarks. We'd like to say something. Dr. Lily Sun Sui-fong is not only the granddaughter of Dr. Sun Yat Sen, she is a very accomplished philanthropist, giving monuments and sculptures of Dr. Sun and making speeches everywhere about the principles and ideas of Dr. Sun Yat Sen, one of the greatest leaders in Asia. Welcome, Dr. Lily Sun.
Very pleased and honored to be invited by the Philippine Chun Shan Association to celebrate its 170th founding anniversary and the 153rd birthday of my grandfather, Dr. Sun Yat Sen. As I have built and donated 256 statues of my grandfather all over the world in the past 9 years. I believe that both God and my grandfather have helped me to achieve this. My grandfather, Dr. Sun Yat Sen, devoted his whole life to the salvation of China. He led numerous revolts to overthrow the Qing dynasty and the feudal system. The 1911 Shanghai Revolution finally succeeded, and Dr. Sun Yat Sen established the Republic of China, the first republic in Asia. Dr. Sun Yat Sen is a great man and empire maker. Without him, China would have been no modern China. Dr. Sun Yat Sen's vision has traversed for 3 centuries. Without his foresight, China might still be slumbering without modernization. Without his vision, China might still be weak without the hope of strength. He is a symbol of the Chinese culture and the flag inspiring Chinese all over the world to unite together. Hence, we have to restore my grandfather, Dr. Sun Yat Sen, as a historical position as the founding father of the Republic of China. Dr. serves three principles of the people: nationalism, people's rights, and people's livelihood, serve as a foundation to create a republic of the people, by the people, and for the people, in order to save China and to transform her into a peaceful, prosperous, and modern nation, equal in standing with other nations in the world. The greatest challenges facing our generation are the climate change, racial issues, terrorism, and an equitable polarization of wealth between countries and within countries. The reason why the world has been unable to solve these challenges are because they are the fundamentally moral issues, and the world lacks an international morality and the will to resolve these issues. Dr. Sun Yat Sen said, 有道德是由國家，有道德是世界。Only when there is morality can there be the nation and the world. I believe that the solution to these challenges can be found in Dr. Sun Yat Sen's visions and teachings. Dr. Sun Yat Sen believed that this international morality could be found upon China's own revival of its ancient moral culture, 八德 and 八目, derived from Confucius' great learning, 忠孝仁爱信义和平 royalty, filial devotion, kindness, love, faithfulness, righteousness, harmony, and peace. And the 格物致知、诚以正心、修身齐家治国平天下。格物是要格掉自私。Search into the nature of things, cut off selfishness. Extend the boundaries of knowledge. Make the purpose sincere, regulate the mind, cultivate personal virtue, rule the family, govern the country, pacify the world. This calls upon a person to develop from within outwards, to begin with his inner nature and not cease until the world is at peace. Dr. Sun Yat Sen said that is a system of moral cultivation and a nugget of wisdom unsurpassed by any other culture in the world. Dr. Sun Yat Sen further said, when China achieves her own revolution and become a powerful and prosperous country, she will peacefully extend her revolution to the world to uplift the poor, the weak, and the suffering people of the world, such that the whole of humanity can progress as a whole. Now China's One Belt, One Road project is fulfilling Dr. Sun Yat Sen's international development of China, which is Dr. Sun Yat Sen's version of China Dream. More than 100 years ago, Dr. Sun said, "word trends mighty and enormous. Those who follow prosper. Those who resist perish." Today, we can all understand Dr. Sun was able to foresee the trends of the world 100 years before his own time. I have no doubt but full confidence that Dr. Sun's vision is not only for China, but also for the world to obtain world peace. Leadership requires United Nations educational, science, cultural organization to recognize Dr. Sun Yat-sen's strategic thoughts in peaceful development and globalization as an intangible world cultural heritage. Only through such classification can we preserve the three principles of people and the super culture of the Chinese nation. Only then we can encourage a nationwide way of learning the three principles of people. The students of the primary and the middle school and universities in mainland China should study the three principles of the people in its entirety, because such study can not only make the people wealthy and the country, the nation strong, but it will also build strands of unification. The three principles of people find its finest expression in all kinds of Asian and moral, and the modern and Chinese and the foreign ideology. It not only combines the merits of capitalism and socialism, but it's also permitted with the merits of Chinese traditional culture, kindness, righteousness, and morality based on Confucius spirit, exemplified by the adage, "The world belongs to all the people, and the world is in great harmony." It is my hope that the 256 bronze statue of Dr. Sun Yat-sen will serve as a visual reminder to perpetuate the memory and legacy of Dr. Sun's revolution to achieve the world's great harmony and to realize the world peace through morality, sustainability, and social justice and the humanity. So that's what I want to express about my grandfather.
Thank you very much to Dr. Lily Sun Sui-fong. She is 84 years old, but she doesn't look 84 also. She must have some secrets. She's a very distinguished person and based in Hawaii, and she has donated so many Sun Yat Sen sculptures worldwide, and also made a lot of speeches about the principles of her grandfather. Thank you very much for your inspiring words. We'd like to welcome two guests who just arrived. Apologies for our traffic jam in Metro Manila. Beside me here, Dr. Lim Bon Liong. He is the president of the biggest business chamber in the Philippines, the Federation of Filipino and Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and a very lifelong admirer of the grandfather of Dr. Lily Sun, Dr. Sun Yat Sen. Welcome, Dr. Lim Bon Liong. And on the extreme left, we have a very distinguished intellectual. Welcome to Dr. Neil Marcial Santillan on the left. He looks like a student, but actually he is professor and chairman of the history department of the best university in the Philippines, University of the Philippines, UP, Diliman. We'd like to, next up, we'd like to invite Prime Minister Cesar, the most distinguished, respected finance minister also, who, by the way, told me he is 89 years old. I could not believe. I should look at his birth certificate. He looks healthier than us. To say a few words, opening remarks about your grandfather, General Baldomero Aguinaldo, granduncle, President Emilio Aguinaldo, and history. Welcome, Prime Minister Cesar Virata, a very respected leader.
Good morning, everyone.
By the way, I forgot to add, he is also Vice Chairman of one of the biggest banks in the Philippines, RCBC. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank Wilson for the invitation to this forum, and we welcome Dr. Sun Sui-fong and her party to grace this particular occasion, linking the efforts during the revolutionary period wherein Mariano Ponce was sent by Emilio Aguinaldo to Japan to seek assistance for arms and ammunition from Japan and other parties, basically from sympathizers like Dr. Sun Yat Sen to help the Philippines overthrow the Spanish rule here. I really appreciate reminding us of the various lessons and experiences of the Chinese heritage from Confucius, who was born 5 centuries before Jesus Christ, and his golden rule pervades and even adopted by Christianity. So we appreciate very much the effort to help the Philippines overcome our effort to oust the Spanish rule in the Philippines. But on the other hand, during that time, the Americans became interested also in occupying the Philippines, although they did not say that they were going to do so. They were trying to avoid to reveal their intentions, and on the other hand, the Japanese were very aware that the consuls of the United States and the UK were watching whether there were any efforts in Japan to gather arms and ammunition to help the Philippines. Fortunately, they were able to do so, and they were able to gather arms secretly, and they shipped it from Nagasaki, and unluckily it was sent in July of 1898, and the boat, because it went through a bad weather, a typhoon, the boat sunk, and therefore whatever assistance that were gathered in Japan failed to reach the Philippines. There were, of course, issues between Japan and the United States. While they are sympathetic to the Philippines, they like to remain friendly with the United States. And that is why Japan let, in other words, let the Americans have their way in trying to occupy the Philippines. So that is why I just would like to express our gratitude for the sympathies and the actual assistance to help the Philippines gain our independence. And we became the first republic here in Asia and the first to oust a colonial power. So we are very proud of this particular achievement of the Filipino people. So this is all what I can say during this time. And again, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prime Minister Cesar Virata, for those enlightening words and for recalling a very interesting and very unique part of Philippine history which we should not forget. Thank you very much again, Prime Minister Cesar Virata, for your eloquence and for your memories, priceless memories. We'd like next to invite the great-granddaughter of the revolutionary hero Mariano Ponce to say a few words also. Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista is the great-granddaughter. Maybe you can explain how through the daughter, diba? And anything you can say about Mariano Ponce and Dr. Sun Yat Sen. By the way, the reason I know this history, I was invited a few years ago to Singapore by the government. There was a museum there, and I saw in the museum exhibit a picture of Dr. Sun Yat Sen seated beside Mariano Ponce, and I took a picture of that picture from the museum and wrote a column in Philippine Star about it, so I could not forget it. And when Mr. Fung, Peter Fung is somewhere here, he's the leader of the Philippine Chun Shan Association. He invited Dr. Lilison. I said, you have to let them meet the descendants of Aguinaldo and Mariano Ponce. So let us invite Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista to say a few words about her ancestor and the connection with Dr. Sun Yat Sen.
Hello. Good morning. My lola, Consolacion Ponce Valero, is the second daughter of Mariano Ponce. So my mom is the granddaughter, so I'm the great-granddaughter. First, most of the memories, or rather the stories that I hear, are rather, of course, the historians, the intellectuals. But one thing I can say is the personal family stories that I do hear from my aunties, who's, by the way, she's 90 years old, Tita Tessie, Ponce Valero man. The basic relationship of Dr. Sun Yat Sen and my lolo, Mariano Ponce, started with a mutual respect. When I say respect, it's not just respect of I am Chinese and you are Filipino. No, they both had a common love. That's what I was always distinctly hearing from my family. That they both love their own countries. That their only lifelong dream for each country, China and Philippines, to have independent, better lives for the people, to have governments who democratically cares for the people. They had a common intention. That's why there was a bond between my great-grandfather and Dr. Sun Yat Sen. That's why it is indeed, I am so grateful for Mr. Wilson to invite me today. And it's indeed an honor to meet Dr. Sun Yat Sen's family because of the deep history that I've heard growing up with my family. And this is what my lolos believed in. Learn the good traits of other countries, other cultures, but retain your own identity. Dr. Sun Yat Sen loved my lolo for the mere fact that he saw in him the love for his country and vice versa, and yet they respected each other and retained their own identities and their own culture, and yet they learned. That's why they were able to accomplish in their own hands and personal lives the goals that they set. That's the reason why history will always have a place and greatness will always be there. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista, great-granddaughter of Dr. Mariano Ponce. He was also, by the way, a doctor. Yes. Another person to speak, a very eloquent person, great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen, Mr. Charles Wong. He's multilingual, not only to English, but Mandarin also. The other night I met him. Welcome. He's based in Hawaii in the real estate industry. Welcome, great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen.
Thank you, Wilson. It's really a pleasure for my mother and I to meet the great-grandnephew of President Emilio Aguinaldo and the great-granddaughter of Mariano Ponce. On our previous visit to the Philippines, we had also met the great-grandnieces of Dr. Jose Rizal, who was also a contemporary with Dr. Sun Yat Sen. I wanted to add a few words to the speech that my mother gave, Prime Minister Virata and Maria Bautista. Sun Yat Sen was not only a leader of his own country, China and the Chinese people, he was also the leader of what was known as the Pan-Asian movement. How many of you have heard of the Pan-Asian movement before? So the Pan-Asian movement is very basically Asia for the Asians, and then to kick out the foreign imperialists from Asia. And then Yokohama, Japan was a base for revolutionary activities for revolutionaries from all over Asia. So there were not only revolutionaries from the Philippines, revolutionaries from China, but also revolutionaries from Vietnam and Korea, also based in Yokohama. So all these different revolutionary groups, the leaders, they all got together and they discussed their own country's interests as well as the Pan-Asian interests. So it was under this umbrella of Pan-Asianism that Dr. Sun Yat Sen, together with his best Japanese friend, Miyazaki Totem, cooperated with Dr. Mariano Ponce to help the Filipino revolutionaries, in particular General Aguinaldo, the leader of the Philippine Independence Army. So Miyazaki Totem and Sun Yat Sen, they brokered the arms for the Philippine revolutionaries. As Prime Minister Virata said, the first ship was sunk in a typhoon. Then after the first ship was sunk, they renewed their efforts and they brokered the arms sent in a second ship But the second ship was intercepted by the American naval blockade. So the second ship did not reach the Philippines either. It was not only that it was Dr. Sun's interest to help the Philippines to become independent, but if the Philippines succeeded in becoming independent, Dr. Sun had a plan and an agreement with General Aguinaldo that the Philippines would become a base for the Chinese revolutionaries. So there would be Chinese Revolutionary Army bases in the Philippines training Chinese revolutionaries to go back to China to overthrow the Qing dynasty, the Qing government. The friendship between the Philippines and China today is still symbolized by the friendship between Dr. Sun Yat Sen and Dr. Mariano Ponce. So this is our very great honor to be able to be the grandnephew and the great-granddaughter, the grandnephew of Emilio Aguinaldo and the great-granddaughter of Mariano Ponce. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Wong, for your eloquent words reminding us about the unique idea of Pan-Asianism, which I first heard from him, which I read also later on. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome also and thank Professor Xiao Chua over there. He's the historian who introduced to us Miss Maria Theresa Valero Bautista. So we were able to invite her because of Professor Xiao Chua. And he also admires Dr. Neil Marcial Santillan. Sabi niya, sikat daw kayo sa academy. Well-known in the academy. Next, we'd like to invite the business leader and philanthropist, Dr. Lim Bon Liong, to say a few words. He is the president of the Federation of Filipino Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, one of the biggest business and civic organizations in the Philippines, with more than 170 local chapters in every region of the Philippines, from Luzon to Mindanao. And he is also a very famous advocate of rice farmers in the Philippines. He's a hybrid rice pioneer of the country. Dr. Lim Bon Liong. Dr. Lim.
Thank you, Wilson, for that very kind introduction. I'm very happy to be here. Being a third generation Chinese Filipino, I was born here. My mother was also born here. I'm a third generation Chinoy. And even as a third generation Chinoy, we used to study Chinese language during our early days. And Dr. Sun Yat Sen has always been impregnated in our mind as the father of modern China. And he's in the same position as our national hero, Rizal. I still remember when I go to school, in our classroom, there will be Rizal over here, and Sun Yat Sen pictures over there. So that has always been impregnated in my mind. And I'm happy that today I have the privilege to meet the descendant of Dr. Sun Yat Sen here. And again, being a Chinoy, we would always like to be a friendship, bridge between China and the Philippines. I was always being quoted at one time, but I said that I have two fathers. My biological father is China, my foster father is the Philippines. Even though if I said I have two fathers, my loyalty, of course, is more in the Philippines because it's where I was born. This is where, when I was born, I got the first bit of air from the Philippines. This is where the country that sheltered me, the country that educated me, the country that I'm doing business with. And, but then again, being a Chinoy, I can be a better bridge between China and the Philippines. And I'm very happy to know that at one time, Mariano Ponce, of course, with the advice of Emilio Aguinaldo, was able to meet with Dr. Sun Yat Sen in Japan, and Dr. Sun Yat Sen was able to broker this arms shipment to the Philippines. And again, this shows that our friendship between China and the Philippines was not only, of course, dated to that era, but also as early as during the Tang Dynasty, during the Sung Dynasty, when a lot of Chinese came over to the Philippines. We always say that the Philippines has only 2.5 million Chinese here in the Philippines, but I guess for those who have Chinese blood, kahit na papano, I think around 30 to 40% of them over the Philippines. Even the President, Duterte, said that his maternal grandfather is also a Chinese, Lim Bon Liong, I think it's a Cantonese. And then even, of course, our Vice President, Robredo, ang asawa niya, si JC, is also a Lim. Kaya maraming mga rin, tayong mga whatever na between China and the Philippines that stand up together, and I think this is what we would like to do, to have a better Philippines, and of course, you know the history better. I'm sure that a lot of children like me will be very happy to finally meet with the descendant of Dr. Sun Yat Sen. And I've known Prime Minister Cesar Virata for a long time. I've admired him, and it looks like Emilio Aguinaldo, if you look at the picture. Even the haircut, similar to Emilio Aguinaldo. Of course, this is the first time I met the grand niece of Mariano Ponce, and I'm very happy. And of course, being a co-UP, UP rin ako, academic from the UP history. I studied history in UP, and at one time, of course, yung palaging sinasabi, ang pinakasikat ng Lim dito sa Pilipinas, hindi si Alfredo Lim, hindi si Senator Rosero Lim, ngunit si Limahong, kasi yun ang pinakasikat sa panahon ni Limahong dyan. But one day, I was telling Wilson that we have already looked at who is really Limahong, paano siya nakatulong sa mga taong bayan dito sa sa Lingayen, sa Pangasinan, how they really plow their field, how they do all of those things there. Maybe one day they sit down para natin ang pangalan ni Limahong na hindi lang siya isang pirata, ngunit marami siya nakatulong dito. But again, in behalf of the Chinese Filipino community, in behalf of the Federation of Filipino Chinese Chamber, in which Wilson is also part, he's the chairman of our media committee. Again, we'd like to thank you for giving this opportunity for us to meet all of these great persons sitting here at this table. Again, thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Enrique. Thank you very much for your eloquent words. We'd like to invite Professor Dr. Neil Marcial Santillan, Chairman of the History Department of University of to say a few words. Welcome, Dr. Santillan.
Magandang umaga sa lahat. Good morning to all. I think it is my honor and pleasure to be surrounded by the descendants of great Asians, maybe Sun Yat Sen, Emilio Aguinaldo, Baldomero Aguinaldo, and Mariano Ponce. Indeed, today I have this feeling that I'm hobnobbing with history and greatness. If we consider Jose Rizal as the first Filipino, then we have to consider Sun Yat Sen as the first Asian. We have to recognize his efforts as the first Asian to seed Pan-Asian consciousness. And in fact, the idea of Pan-Asian solidarity was best exemplified in the previous century. President Quirino thought of Pacific Union. President Macapagal conceptualized Mapelindo for the Confederation of Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia. Then President Garcia thought of ASA. President Marcos was part of the brains behind the formation of ASEAN. I think my presence here is an expression of institutional gratitude of the UP Diliman history for all the contributions of Dr. Sun Yat Sen in building the Filipino nation and building Pan-Asian consciousness. So I would like to reiterate, I'm hobnobbing with greatest in history, so it is really an honor and pleasure. Good morning to all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Neil Marcial Santillan, Professor, Chairman of the History Department, University of the Philippines, although he looks like a college student. And last but not least, we'd like to invite historian Xiao Chua to say a few words. He rushed over here from New Era University because he wants to be with history. Mr. Xiao Chua, can you say a few words about the microphone? Thank you very much for your support.
Makasaysayang araw po.
Passionate about history.
Well, I don't know kung, I know napaliwanag na yung ibang detalye, pero may mga mukhang bagong dating. So siguro medyo ulitin lang natin ng konti na, you know, itong rare event in our country that we have Sun Yat Sen. Sun Yat Sen descendants, kasi si Sun Yat Sen is both recognized by Taiwan and kasi in Taiwan ang Republic of China supposedly and the People's Republic of China as the founders of their nation. So now, ang di alam ng marami sa atin ay si Sun Yat Sen pala when he was in Japan met our Mariano Ponce. And for many people, Mariano Ponce was who's that Pokemon. Napaka-underrated. Who is this Mariano Ponce? Ang kilala lang siya dun sa mga pictures na kasama si Rizal. Ang laging binabanggit sa triumvirate, si Graciano Lopez Haina. But they forget that Mariano Ponce is actually the actual founder of the Lasso de Navidad. Even before Marcelo del Pilar was there, he collected money to build the Lasso de Navidad. And so, as I said, ilustrado, when Aguinaldo, so nandito po si Prime Minister Virata dito, when the Aguinaldo government needed first diplomat, one of the first diplomats of our country, include, ang dami niyang ginawa. He is also as a journalist, kasi I mean public history now, he is one of the first Filipino public historians. Because like me, like Ambet, like Jaime Veneracion before us, meron siyang, ang tawag dito, column sa diaryo. He had a newspaper column on history during the time of the Spaniards. Imagine? So, siya yung ninuno namin lahat. So, because of his great contribution, it was deemed that he should be one of our first diplomats. And we met your lolo, your grandfather, Dr. Sun Yat Sen there. And it's very interesting because when they were in Japan, they went to Japan, the Mariano Ponce actually bought arms. But the problem was, the fall of the Republic happened, those guns, the Ponce shipped them back to China. So our guns actually were supposed to help the Chinese Revolution. Yes. Nagka-problem lang na konti, but basically, the intention was there. That the Filipinos and Chinese were helping in each other's revolutions. So, yung pagsasama-sama natin ngayon is also an affirmation that yes, despite the fact that, of course, we have some problems with the governments, no? But the people of China and the people of the Philippines, and also those who are sharing the heritage of the Chinese Filipinos like myself, should be reminded of this special friendship. That despite the fact of our some of our conflicts, that we can be together, and we can talk, and we can achieve peace, and we can work together on a lot of things like what we're doing today. So again, for some of us here, talagang makasaysayang araw po itong araw na ito dito sa makasaysayang Kamuning Bakery, historic Kamuning Bakery, first bakery here in Quezon City, right? that we are all gathered together for this important meeting. So thank you very much for being here. Count yourself lucky that you are here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Xiao Chua. By the way, si Peter Fung President, immediate president siya of Philippine Chun Shan Association, he said, oh, imbitahin niya si Xiao Chua.
Mabuhay po kayo.
He's the owner of Kingdom Noodle House, by the way. Well known in Manila. May utang tayo. So thank you very much to all the historians and all the historic people who are here. Thank you to everyone. We have gifts. We have gifts for Miss Lolita Ching, the boss of Chinatown TV, also here. Yes, yes. Thank you for coming, Miss Lolita Ching. We'd like to give pledges to the guests. And also we'd like to request Prime Minister Virata and the great-granddaughter of Mariano Ponce to offer gifts, symbolic gifts to the granddaughter and great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen as a sign of gratitude. Pandesal kay Prime Minister Virata, and they will give to, and then to Miss Bautista, kay Miss Maria Theresa, yes. Can you please stand up, and then they will offer the gift, yes. Maybe Miss Bautista to come over here to give it to the great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen. Let's be beside. Yeah. For the photo of President, yes. Yes, yeah, yes. Also, yes, thank you from the Philippines to Dr. Sun Yat Sen family for the grandfather's support for the Philippine Revolution. Gift from another picture now. Maybe get again, yes. Prime Minister Cesar Virata, and also sa likod, can we see the one on the back?
Okay na.
Yes, yes. From Miss Maria Theresa, Valero Bautista, representing the family of Dr. Mariano Ponce, to Mr. Charles Wong, great-grandson of Dr. Sun Yat Sen. Thank you very much for help to the Philippine Revolution and to the Philippines. Yes, and one more picture naman. One more picture. Dr. Lily Sun will give a book of her grandfather to Dr. Henry Lim Bon Liong. Thank you very much to everyone. There's one more picture daw. Kailangan daw.
Okay na po. Center. Diba? Center. Kaya dito sa...
We'll ask the two of them to come here. You have to come here so they will see you. Yes, you have to come here.
Ayun. Kaya pa rin yan. Okay.
And everyone will be given a pandesal assist naman sila. Assist sila lahat. Kasi professor sila. Yes. Pandesal is the traditional bread of the Philippines. Unique to the Philippines.
Can we have bread?
Yes. Selfie. Can you take a look at Professor Xiao Chua's?
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you should come here. Picture tayo. With the pandesal, carrying the pandesal. Pag-iapot. Pag-iapot. Let's have a group picture. Everyone. Yes.
Sir, boss, di makaway. Aso ka.
Oo nga.
Wilson,
pakita ka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay naman po. Okay.
121 years ago, Mariano Ponce met Dr. Sun Yat Sen in Yokohama,